So today's sermon is entitled, Allowing the Dream in 2014. And I thought it was kind of catchy, because I was like, oh, they kind of rhyme. It's kind of cute, you know, Allowing Dream 2014. We were traveling, as many of you know, this past 2 weeks across country. And we drove from Texas to California to attend a meditation retreat, a silent 4-day meditation retreat with my teacher, Reverend Dr. Michael Becker. So 4 days of silence is always interesting. 4 days of what is typically vegetarian food is always interesting. 4 days of vegan food is a whole nother story. And I'll share a little bit about that later. But I want to first talk about the topic, allowing the dream in 2014. And I thought that this was fascinating. I thought, allowing the dream in 2014. Why not allowing my dream? Or why not allowing your dream? Why allowing the dream? And I asked God, tell what's up with that? What are we working with here? And Spirit reminded me in that moment that the reason we say allowing the dream is because there is a dream for all of us. There is a universal dream for our dynamic good and our perfect unfoldment, our divine health and wealth. That is a universal dream for each and every one of us. And also, this idea around allowing the dream has everything to do with the fact that it should be bigger than anything you could ever do in your lifetime. Allowing the dream means it's bigger than a New Year's resolution. I don't know if any of you are like many people. I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions because people make them. They're all gung-ho on the first day. And by the fourth day, they can't even remember what they were. Also, I have an issue around resolutions because I think it's a setup. It's a way in which we set ourselves up to do something that we think we should do, and then we beat ourselves when we don't do it.
That's right.
It's a setup. But I get it, Get it? It's what society does. I don't tend to follow society's rules, obviously. So resolutions aren't a big thing. I much prefer to wait till the end of the year and say, look at all the magnificence that has taken place through me. Nothing but success then. So that's my issue with resolutions. And then there's the next step around goals. I mean, people are like, we've got to have a goal. If you don't have a goal, you're not going to achieve anything, you're not going to get anywhere, and you're not going to... I guess goals are okay. Let's just say it's a step up from being having a resolution. A goal is something that can be measured. It's something that is effective. It's something that you can see the result of. I suppose that's good. But then what happens after that? Then you just make more goals. And then you're just like a hamster on a wheel, going back and forth, around and around and around. More goals and more goals and more goals and more goals. I mean, that's good. I don't know if at the end of Martin Luther King's life, he was saying to himself, wow, I'm glad I achieved my goals. I just can't imagine him saying that. Because what he said is, I have a dream. And that dream was so big and so large and so grand that he had to expand his whole being in order for it to take place. That dream was so big, so large, so grand that it was something that he could not complete in his lifetime. That dream was so grand and so ginormous that he needed the entire world to make it happen. Now that's the kind of dream I'm talking about. That's the kind of dream I am looking for you to allow through you. That's the kind of dream that changes hearts, minds, nations. That's what's possible for each and every one of us. I mean, let's think about it for a moment. What if Martin Luther King said, well, why don't we just try to make it so that we can all, in Georgia, ride the bus? Why don't we just all just make it so that people in our little town can sit at the lunch counters? Why don't we just try to just make it through the day? Not any of us in this particular configuration of unique, individualized expression, so beautifully colored, we look like a crayon box, none of us would be here. Because Sunday at 11 o'clock is still the most segregated hour in the country. But not here. Not you, not now. This is to allow a dream. And so we step forward to the next level, which is to talk about, well, what's involved in allowing this dream, Erica? I mean, because I'm just trying to pay my rent. That's my dream. My dream is just to make sure I can pay my bills, I can eat. And what I want to say to you is that God, in His infinite goodness, wants you to eat. How can you fulfill your divine destiny if you're hungry? So that is a natural thing that will happen and does happen when you turn your attention to the possibility that it can. Of course. I dare say that no matter what has happened to you in your life, at some point you must have got enough to eat because you're here. So that's what I want to say about taking care of the necessities of life, food, home. And I think there is a verse in the Bible, I know there is, that says, do not worry. See the lilies of the field, how they spin and toil not. Do not worry about clothing, food. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but you get where I'm going with it. And that is because all of our basic necessities will be taken care of. Of course, we can ask for help. That's a small need. But I want to tell you that if your biggest dream is to expand the size of your television, you need to get a bigger dream.
That's right.
Because we are here for more than that. Now, don't get me wrong, I have a projector, so I have a big, I'm all about it. But if that was solely what I was living for, then once I got it, then what do I do?
Bigger house, bigger car.
I mean, it just continues. It's just bigger and bigger because there's something in me that is trying to birth itself. There's something grand and glorious that's trying to come through, and it has to do with more than the acquisition of material wealth. It has to do with living something beyond anything I could ever imagine. It has to do with being something beyond I could ever imagine. That's to allow the dream. And so we think about this. Well, okay, I'm with you, Erica. I'm not just trying to make sure I eat or those kinds of things. I'm also with you, Erica. I get it. You know, I'm not going to just focus on goals, lose 10 pounds, gain 20, lose 15, gain 5. Okay, I'm going to get past that. So this dream that is supposed to be here, what if I do have it? How am I going to make it happen? And what I want to say to you that imagine if Gandhi said, how in the world am I going to get these people to let us go? How in the world am I going to let this happen? If he had to try to figure out how, I don't think it would have happened. Because the reality is that there's a universal spiritual truth that says if you figure out the what, the universe will figure out the how. And let me give you an example of that. Clearly, we need a sound system. Clearly. That's something that needs to happen. And Veronica and I are in the middle of, I have no idea, driving through town. Through someplace, I don't even know, someplace in Albuquerque, I don't know, there wasn't even like a cactus. I mean, like, there was nothing there, you know, and we're on our way here and not sure if we're going to get here in time to even get to a store to even get a sound system. How in the world could I possibly get a sound system in the middle of nowhere for Sunday service? And out of nowhere, all of a sudden, I got cell phone service. And I received a Facebook message from someone who said, hey, I was just cruising Craigslist, and I found this surround sound system. Now, let me tell you something. When I tell you that, one, the person had no idea. They had no idea we even needed a sound system. Two, it was free. Not $500, not $50, free to a church.
Oh my gosh.
And then when I tell you further that what would possess this person to be on Craigslist at this time, the post happened at 12:40. The email was sent to me at 1:20. I mean, what I'm telling you with this story, we ended up not getting the sound system for other things, but that was irrelevant because the point is, God said to me, Erica, you can be in the middle of nowhere, not having told anybody anything, and I have your back. I have what you need. I have it. It's already here. It's available to you because you are allowing the dream to move through you. I didn't even have to figure out how. Apparently, I didn't even have to tell somebody I needed it. It's all there. I am not the exception. King is not the exception. Jesus, Buddha, Allah, Gandhi, none of them are exceptions. They were simple human beings who allowed the grace and the goodness and the magnitude of God to move through them.
That's right.
So what I'm telling you today, what I'm talking to you about, is allowing that dream, that thing that is the thing that keeps you up at night. That thing that you don't even want to utter out loud because it seems so big. That thing that you have been thinking about in the back of your head. I want to start that business, but I don't know how. I want to start that business, or I want to marry that mate, or I want to look well. All of that is simply for the service of something bigger. Those organizations that I showed you, they didn't know they were going to get anything from us. I didn't know they were going to get anything from us. There wasn't an us 7 months ago.
What?
And that's what I'm talking about. What I'm saying to you is that when you get out of your own way and you allow the goodness and the grace of God that is naturally within you, it's not up here, it is within you. When you allow that thing that you have been trying to keep from coming forward, that thing that keeps you up at night, that makes you eat, that makes you, do the things you know you don't need to be doing, when you get out of your own way and allow that to come, I'm telling you, I tell you what, the amazing miracles are waiting for you. Not only are the amazing miracles waiting for you, but everybody else is waiting for you. Everyone else is waiting for you. And I often say, your dreams are waiting for you to come true. It's waiting for you to step up and say, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm available, I'm open, use me, guide me, direct me. No, I don't know how to do it. But King didn't either. He didn't have a guidebook. It wasn't a how to start a civil rights march. It didn't, there was no lunch counter sit-ins for dummies. It didn't exist. There was no internet. He couldn't Google how to be free. It didn't happen. But along the way, as he took the steps, people showed up. They stood at the door and greeted people. They moved chairs. They sang songs. They worked the meditation and the computer and the music to the best of their ability. They spoke up and said yes. Because there's something waiting for them to come true as well. What I'm telling you today is that we do not have the luxury, the time to sit anymore contemplating whether or not we're going to step forward. We don't have that kind of time. The world is waiting for each one of you to do the specific, unique design that is just for you to do. Nobody else can do it. Nobody but you can do it. And that's not arrogance. I'm not coming from a place of, oh, I think you're all that. I'm not coming from a place of, I think I'm all that. Where I am coming from is that I am willing to be more my true self and never less. More of who I really am. More of what I'm here to be. And of course, not everybody is going to start their own business. Not everybody is going to start a church. Whatever it is for you. And the only way you can find that out is to get still. Because you can't Google, what's my dream? You can't, it just doesn't happen like that. Get still, get quiet, and ask. Ask, what is it I'm here to do? Who is it I'm here to be? Don't ask how. Ask what. Is there anything I need to release in order for this dream to come through me? Ask that. Ask the people that you trust in your life. What do you see? Help me see what I can't see. Because when I look at each and every one of you, I don't see fear. I don't see doubt. I don't see the stuff you did that you shouldn't have done. I don't see the things you said that you shouldn't have said. I don't see why you haven't lost those 20 pounds or why you're not fulfilling your unlimited potential. I see God when I see you. I see infinite potential in each and every one of you. When I look at you, all I see is, oh, there's a dream there, there's a vision there, there's someone doing something amazing there. That's all I see when I look at you. That's what I feel when I hug you. Everything else is mute. Everything else is irrelevant. Your story, while lovely, I mean, we all have our story, the drama and trauma of our life, has very little to do with allowing the dream to come through you. Your story is simply the circumstances and conditions that propelled you, pushed you, dragged you to allowing the dream. Martin Luther King, one of the most amazing stories that I've ever heard, was on a march, and a man came up to him, and he had stopped, and he came up to Martin Luther King, and he spit on him. And Martin Luther King took out his handkerchief. At the time, men carried handkerchiefs. He took out his handkerchief, and he wiped it off. And he said, I believe this belongs to you. You can only do that if you know there is something greater for you to do.
That's right.
Because otherwise, he could get caught up on that. He could get, oh my God, I'm about to kill this man. I can't believe he could go all nuts. It would have been an entirely different civil rights movement after that. But he didn't. Because he knew that there was something greater, grander, and bigger happening than just him and his personality. And that's why it doesn't matter whether we get the music. That's why it doesn't matter whether the chairs are here. That's why it doesn't matter whether there's snacks. You matter. You're the reason I'm here. You're the reason so that we can wake up to who and what we really are. The time is now.
That's right.
There's no more, well, maybe in next year, maybe in 6 months, maybe when I make my list of goals, maybe after I complete my resolutions, maybe after I'm free of debt, maybe after, I don't know, the end of time. I don't know. But whatever it is, we don't have the luxury. And if you're sitting here, there's something in you that's ready to wake up.
That's right.
Because you wouldn't be here. You would not be here at this time, in this moment, sitting in this chair. Everything that you have done has led up to this moment so that you could hear. Wake up. Wake up. It's time. Allow the dream to come through you. Allow the beauty to unfold. Allow the grace and the goodness. So that the story you tell is not the story of the drama and trauma. The story you tell is, you know what? I had a dream. And along the way, people came and helped me with that dream. And along the way, they had a dream and they woke up to their dream. And along the way, we helped other people. And along the way, the world was changed. It is not grand. It is an individualized waking up and a collective universal understanding that we are here for more and never less. That's what I'm talking to you about today. That's what I want to say about 2014. I mean, it's going to come. It's going to go. It's going to be 2015. It's going to be, all that is going to happen. But I'm telling you, if you try to start something new, a new year, a new project, a new goal, as the same person, at the end of the year, you're going to have the same results.
That's right.
I know this.
That's right.
I've lived it. So I'm daring you. Allow the dream to come through you. Allow yourself in the moments when you're quiet and still for just a second to say, what is it I'm here to be? What dream is trying to come through me? How can I get out of my own way so that it can happen? And I'll end on this last story because it's confession time. So I have a relatively clean diet out of necessity, but I have this need to have a sugar substitute, Splenda. And when I say I use Splenda, I really mean I use Splenda. It's just not, it's not okay. No one should do it this way. No one. And I have been talking to Veronica for the last year when we were at the meditation retreat. I said, well, last year, I said, I'm going to give up the Splenda. I've got to get off the Splenda. It's not good for me. Everybody knows. And the year went by. I'm still pouring the Splenda. I'm at Costco getting the big bags of Splenda, just whatever, just go to town. We got in the car, packed all our stuff. It's me and 4 bags of Splenda. And I have a vision of going to India this year. Now, I don't know how it's going to happen, I don't know when it's going to happen, I don't even know who's going to happen with, but that's the vision. And I thought to myself, well, what are you going to do? You're just going to pack a suitcase full of Splenda to go to India? They're not going to have Splenda. How are you going to get to India and enjoy India if you're obsessed with Splenda or you're carrying it around? I mean, it's just not going to happen. So I was like, well, let me just put that aside. I get to the meditation retreat. And I didn't realize it was going to be vegan. And vegan is no joke. It's a whole nother level. It's just no joke. I'm like, are you serious? And we have to get ready to go into silence. But before then, I had to stomp around and fall out. Oh, it's vegan. There's no Splenda. There's no, what are we going to do? There's no half and half. There's no what am I, how am I going to function? It didn't matter because we went into silence. So no one could hear me. No one could hear my rant, right? So this is all part of allowing the dream in 2014. Now I've been talking about this for a year, and so now we're getting ready to go into a new year. And so the universe is no joke. It heard me. There's no Splenda. I can't talk to anybody. I can't go anywhere. I'm stuck in the middle of a Joshua Tree, godforsaken desert. And I get to the table each and every day with food that just looks like I'm not even sure a chipmunk would eat it. and so I just start praying because no one can hear me. You know, I can't complain, and I just start praying, please God, help me be hungry. And if I'm not hungry, help me get grateful. You know? But I recognize that it's necessary for the dream of going to India to come through. In order for me to get there, I have to be here. So, 4 days, no Splenda. 5 days, no Splenda. By the time we come out of the meditation retreat, and I went through everything, mad, sad, pathetic, crying, whatever. I was just like, the worst 2-year-old in the world at this meditation retreat. And I tell it to myself because I think that it's important that you know. At the end of the meditation retreat, Veronica says, okay, well, are you ready to go get a cup of coffee and, you can have your Splenda? And by the grace of God, the desire to have it wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And I said to Veronica, I know I'm going to India. I know that because I don't need anything. I can just allow the dream to happen through me. And so that's what I want to tell you. Of course, it's a small story, but it's important for you to know that your dreams are waiting for you to come true. Get going. Get started. It's already done. Don't worry about the how. Just decide that you're ready, willing, and available. And I promise you, this time next year, each and every one of you will have a heck of a story to tell about allowing the dream in 2015.